Smith, thanks for joining us. 3 men who police say were involved in that shooting on the city's east side are behind bars tonight.
Laura Kirtley has been following this story all day. Laura, what are witnesses saying?
Witness Cody Veach was sitting across the street when the shots were fired. He says it's hard for him to believe what was happening before his eyes.
Gunshots, and I thought it was a car backfired, and we stood up to turn around and see what was going on. And that's when the guy started opening up fire at the van, and everybody kind of freaked out.
Lafayette Police Lieutenant Brad Hayworth says 27-year-old Edward Mercer, 26-year-old Jared Rodriguez, and 49-year-old Eugene Hall, all of Hammond, have been arrested on preliminary charges of armed robbery. He says the men were negotiating the price of customized tires and rims that 2 men from Indianapolis had placed on the internet website Craigslist.
They had agreed to meet in a parking lot to sell the rims and the tires. They were negotiating over a price, and then as they were counting the cash, the suspects pulled out handguns and told them to give them the money back, and then proceeded to rob them of the cash that they had given them and also the tires and rims.
The suspects took off in a van, but police later caught up with them off of US 52 and County Road 350 South.
Fortunately for us, one of the witnesses that was in the area followed the van and called police and told us where the van was at, so that's how we were able to find them.
Just a day later, all that's left of the shootout is this broken window and shattered glass. But for those who witnessed the event from across the street, they are left with a feeling of unease.
I think it's just going to get more and more frequent. It's not something I want to see, but it's something that's probably going to happen.
Lieutenant Hayworth says it appears about 8 to 10 bullets were fired during the shootout, but he says there may have been more. The investigation is still ongoing, and the Indianapolis men involved in the shooting weren't arrested pending a review by the prosecutor. But tonight, many people are thankful that no one was hurt. Laura Kirtley, News Channel 18.
A Griffith woman faces criminal charges for allegedly trying to influence the outcome of her boyfriend's trial.
Kristen Majorano was at the courthouse when this woman was arrested this afternoon. Kristen, what happened?
Jeff and Nicole, prosecutor Pat Harrington says 23-year-old Sharnetta Marie Barnes was sitting in on her boyfriend's robbery trial when she was asked to step outside. That's when she was handcuffed, arrested, and taken to jail. Police say Barnes called 2 witnesses who were scheduled to appear in that trial the night before their appearances. Police say Barnes identified herself as Tammy from the Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office and said the trial had been continued and the witnesses did not have to appear. According to police, Barnes used a card she got on the internet that made her calls appear to originate from the prosecutor's office. Police say she admitted this morning that she made the calls. She's charged with obstruction of justice and impersonating a public official. According to court documents, Barnes is the girlfriend of 28-year-old Edward Mercer. Mercer is on trial for armed robbery. His charges are from an incident in July of last year. He and 2 others were negotiating the sale of tires and rims with a pair of men from Indianapolis they made contact with over the internet. During those negotiations, several gunshots were fired in the parking lot of a Subway restaurant on State Road 38 East. Prosecutor Harrington says this is the first time an arrest like this has been made in Tippecanoe County, but he says in the past couple of years his office has received information about people trying to affect the outcomes of trials. There just hadn't been enough evidence to file the charges. Kristen Majorano, News Channel 8.